Welcome to the beach here at the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2024 opening day, but our closing match. And myself, Hannah Pendlebury, I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by Greenie, Mr. John Greenfield. We've had you in our chat so many times, and it's lovely to have you on the call all the way from down under. Who are you here with this tournament?
Well, I'm playing with Newcastle Piewagon, which has been around since 2007. But it's definitely the first time we've had a club championship like this. In fact, the very first time there has been a club championship like this. So very, very exciting. Yes, the inaugural, the premiere, the debut beach edition. And we will be starting off our final game of today. It is Ukraine's national team, of course, just the one team representing in the open and mixed divisions, of course, because of the situation happening locally. They'll be facing up against PUG, the Irish upstarts hailing originally from the likes of the club Uproar. But this first point will be played 4v4 and it will not count towards the overall score. It's sort of a gesture towards those that cannot be here on the sands in Portimão. So PUG on offense for this memorial point, and it's going to be a turnover. So the Ukrainians will get a chance to score for those teammates they've left back at home. And there is actually one member of this team who is actively in military service, a big huck, and that is a lovely score. Taras Kuzuk finishes off the memorial point. As I say, that one will not count towards the overall score for this one. And we're going to play the rest of the game through normal five-a-side. But of course, that's just a gesture towards those unable to play Ultimate in the same fashion and appear here in Portimão due to the ongoing war back home. And if you want to know more about that, there's an entire initiative called Play for Ukraine. That will tell you more. You can look them up online. So John, how have these teams been getting on so far in the pool stages? Well, yes, they're coming in looking for redemption. They've both dropped a game. PUG to Humili Swag, and a bit more Humili than Swag, I'm afraid, in that game. They went down 13-4. But Humili Swag, a very good US team, and then of course the top seed. And Ukraine, however, a really tight one against Towards Bordelais. Hope you're getting that name right, but very closely seeded. But yeah, down 12-10 to those guys. So both teams looking for a bit of redemption, but very excited to see these two out here. I think this is going to be a really close one. Absolutely. I mean, 3-3 tour even put the French the right way round in my brain. Right, yeah. They are a very good team. Of course, there's a lot of strong beach programs in and around the French region. And of course, that is why they went on to win that World Championship last year in LA. So PUG now connecting with a deep shot of their own after being inspired by that opening 4v4 point. That's a little bit of a spoon, but well handled by Dooley. Jack McNamara now with the disc, but there's going to be a stoppage for a call. It was interesting, a little pick there, I think, according to the hand single. McNamara with that backhand around break, and it's a goal. Connor Selkirk stamping the first one on the board for PUG. Oh, look at these goal celebrations, Hannah. This is, in Australia, we call these bombies, but you usually do it into a pool. They're doing it onto the sand. I mean, it's a great vibe. PUG definitely are bringing the vibes to Portimão. Of course, why PUG? Why not? And why not? If the jerseys that they're wearing, it's actually the PUG in the center of the shirt. It actually is it's Pedro the PUG, inspired by, literally, because it is a photo of him. Pedro is owned by one of the VC Ultimate staff. Big shout out to Pew, who's not here on the sands in Portimão. Has been many years before. But the Ukrainians now looking to respond on offense. That's a great defense running down the pool. Reese Connolly-Duggan, the man responsible for the admin of this team, but have thrown a right. Oh. And then an immediate foul call.
Okay, that's very interesting. He's saying he got a hit. It certainly came out very flat and ditched before the intended receiver. I was really impressed that he actually caught the tee when it was definitely going to be down, but hey, why not?
Yeah, the sideline yelling the words time limit towards their teammates. Just reminding them. So it could be a contested foul. A little bit of an elongated discussion with Fermin Padial Morales, which one has to think is maybe an extra Portuguese athlete added to this Ukrainian roster.
And why? A little local flavour, why not?
Well, I mean, we're so used to having people pick up North Americans.
Yeah.
It's nice to see some Portuguese getting that World Club action and experience. Oh, that's a great stretch layout. Going Turk. Now looking for options. Nice and patient here from PUG, but not too much in the way of active movement. But they're going to open things up with a hammer and chuck it in.
Fantastic. They like a lot of little movements around the disc, I've noticed here, the PUG. But not afraid to throw a hammer when there's a nice leading pass on hand.
Well, why not? I mean, it's one of the risks you really take when you play either an indoor format or a beach format, is if you force forehand, the hammer is suddenly a breakside throw.
It is, yeah. And given how compressed their offense is, there's going to be a lot of space out there. So it's 2-0 up. They've got the break. Has PUG. So what I love about the Irish, they're so brave and feisty. They're giving up a lot of height, I would say, against the Ukrainians. Now's a chance for Ukraine to steady the ship here. They've gone the long shot. Oh, this is buttery, peachy. What a lovely throw. What a lovely goal.
Yeah,
and I must say, Hannah, I thought for a moment there he was actually going to trip and miss the catch as he caught that.
Padial Morales really running that down with absolute ease. Opened up plenty of acreage as well. Made it nice and easy for the thrower.
Yeah, he really, they do say grab the line as you're towing it in, but I think that he almost came a cropper on that one. But good to see Ukraine steady the ship.
So 2-1, PUG with the early lead, which will be crucial if they want to do damage here at the World Beach Championships. Oh, that is a spicy option. He shoots, he scores. Absolute acreage there for Connor Selkirk. Oh. Just snuck away like a thief in the night.
He did. Oh, here we go. It's the Bombies. And we've got another one in. Not quite the elevation of the first celebration, I must say. They slid that one in. But what was nice to see there, Hannah, was they stretching the offense out a little bit. They played the first couple very tight, little small resets, but they stretched the field there. And I wonder if that was a tactic or if just how it unfolded.
Well, a solid start for both teams. Ukraine just need to, I think, hold their nerve a little bit. We're getting some very short field turnovers, which is making their lives difficult, but they now come out once again. This is nice pace moving through. Felipe with a reacher leader. Oh, that's really nice. It might be a bit of a stretch, and it is, but the layout claims the goal.
Yes, very nice from the Ukraine there. There was a backhand force there with a what we call a funnel, where they go straight up on the sideline. But the danger there was if you don't get that force on when it swings over, you can get broken badly, and that's exactly what happened. The Ukrainians managed to get that flick down the sideline and it was very hard to cover.
Well, Sergei Shvetov reading it and bringing that one back down to earth. Currently living in Odessa, his hometown, has been playing for just a short 13 years.
13 years. I mean, it is remarkable they can attend this. It is fantastic.
I mean, Mr. Greenfields, them's rookie numbers compared to your good self.
Of course. But, you know, I come from a land down under that is not currently experiencing, you know, a terrible conflict. So I count my blessings.
Well, we count our blessings to be watching this game for sure. Nice initial movement. McNamara coming underneath and then launching it to the deep space. Oh, just inches away, and I'm not sure if that was good enough. It's going to be called in by Connor Selkirk, though.
That's another one for the big man.
It is another swimming pool splash celebration. We love to see it.
I think they're getting a taste for this, Hannah. I think they're liking this, stretching this field out. And why not? They're, so far these throws have been spot on. And more angle than the Ukrainians are sort of sitting it out flat, letting their receivers run onto it.
Well, Jack McNamara, of course, is someone who's no stranger to a European Championship, but on a very different surface to this one. A couple of these PUG lads are big XVI heads. They don't get to play together too much, so I quite like the idea of taking on these deep options, because I think with the shorter passes having to work it through, they might not have same cohesion. That's a really great idea, though. Big arcing backhand, but it is slapped away by Dara Ofuega.
Oh, it just sat in the breeze too much, allowing the defender to come and grab that one.
And this is a big difference, right? When PUG are sending it deep, the Ukrainians are a solid couple of meters back, sort of swatting at the disc in the air, whereas that one was very close indeed. Isolation, nice stumble grab for Noah Coin-Tyrrell. Now just trying to keep things easy as possible. Oh, that's a beautiful break backhand, though. Not quite over the tape for Fergal Moran.
There's a foul that is accepted. No problem there. Right on the line.
So inches away, but that one's going to just fly well overhead. Great effort to think about that redemption, but the wind getting a little bit involved on that one.
Exactly. Once too many times to the well there. With a breeze coming in there, especially in that little gap there, really the wind flies through that little compression area there.
Well, Ukraine escaped to safety, because conceding another break this early in the game wouldn't snuff out their chances by any means. Of course, lots of grit and determination on this team. So we see them fly up pitch with a number of short gainers. Oh, and that one just rips up at the last minute. Love the fake of the high release.
That was an extravagant fake, wasn't it?
It really was, but I don't hate it. And a soft hammer, beautiful execution. Doesn't even look to see if it gets caught. Javier Cotillo Lopez, with such swagger, just walks away.
Oh, and gets a hug from his girlfriend on the sideline. Why not? Throws the goal, goes straight to his girlfriend, gets a hug and a kiss.
Cool guys don't look at explosions, John. They throw hammers and then walk away.
Yeah, that was lovely. So I think the strategy here for PUG is that they want those passes, they're forcing backhand, and they want those passes to sit up a bit. Whereas the Ukrainians have been throwing, going flick, which is a very standard for ultimate. But the passes are angling in. So you know, there's different strategy out there. And so far, it's working for PUG because their throws are getting to their receivers a lot quicker, whereas it's really hanging up for the PUG to get the Ds.
Well, a bricked pole will give an enviable field position for PUG. They're going to have Doody hanging around in the backfield. And perhaps in isolation, a first cut for Jack McNamara, who you see a little bit statted away from the stack. As he gets swaggered in, of course, the GAA shorts for the PUG team to complete the look. That one a little bit of air bounce on it, but all hangs fine.
Oh.
Yeah, nearly the opportunity there to attack. Bunkenberg, is he going to run out of time? Oh, he does, and it just flubbles away. And the Ukrainians are going to rip it deep immediately out of the blocks. And it's a, oh yes, layout, grab. Vasil Perezevyev. Absolutely fantastic, and then just pops it in for extra measure.
Oh, what a great sequence of play. That was a lovely ultimate there. For the first time, we've saw PUG with their short resets get into trouble. And it was just because they're doing a few jink moves, you get that jink wrong, it's going to be a turnover. But what a great throw there. All the way, using the wind to your advantage. I actually thought it was in.
I thought so too. I was looking down at my roster sheet to give the name credit for a goal, but it turned out it was just for the assist.
No, mate. You have to take the assist, not the goal.
Well, either way, all resolved, and still the Ukrainians punch in their first break. So we are back on serve, folks.
Yep, 4-all.
Of course, if this one just trades out, it will be PUG taking their first win of the tournament. These open teams with 2 games to play on the opening day here. Again, the stall count starting to rise, so the Ukrainian person defense starting to make the adjustments to cause some mischief. That's a nice ripper. Oh, but that is a clap catch block. Nice aggressive take of the disc for Danilak. But can they do anything with it? No, a costly drop on the end zone tape. Boyko couldn't quite hang on to it. So a bit of a gimme and a hammer. Nice and easy does it. And PUG hold on.
Hannah, that was a buttery hammer. You look at that breeze there and into that little compression area we talked about. He sat it in there and it landed on his chest. But what a chance for Ukraine there. I notice now the PUG they've just got those 2 receivers deep, and they are just looking to isolate them. Didn't quite work out. They just pushed it a little bit too hard, and Ukraine got a lovely layout block. So this is a great game. As we said, this was going to be tight, and we're seeing 2 very contrasting styles. At the end of day 1. What's been a beautiful day. This is Champagne Ultimate.
Indeed. Well, you know, many folks have watched. Was that a drop ball?
Oh, Hannah.
Oh, wow.
It was a drop. He recaught it, but it had already touched the sand. And he acknowledges that. Good spirit.
Well, heartbreak for Payepa.
There's a pick.
You hate to see it. You managed to get the break back and then gift such a short field to your opponents. Doody, though, looking a little lost for options, but it's a casual offhand backhand that finishes it off and pops it into the bread box.
I think he would have been on about 8 there, and the nonchalance of that lefty was something else.
Well, I mean, coming off the back of a commentary debut that he did pretty well in, so the man's got a lot of swagger.
Yeah.
We can now officially claim Mark Doody as one of ULTI.TV's own.
Yeah, well, I heard, except he hasn't put his information in.
That's true. We do have to put him on blast slightly because he hasn't given us any fun factage about himself. So we'll just have to make stuff up, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll just make it up. Hooly dooly.
That is what his mum calls him, I hear.
Yeah.
So PUG up by 2 on the scoreboard, but 1 break in the game overall. And that one is going to sail well out of bounds.
Oh, gee. And Hannah, you know, the bricks they're a little bit more advantaged than, in fact, on the grass. So you really are giving up a lot of ground, and it's not very far. We're only talking 45 metres for the entire field.
Indeed, especially at the World Beach level, you would expect the pulling game for some of these teams to be very consistent, but clearly folks are just warming up their way into it. But one of the athletes for this PUG side hasn't played a game of Ultimate since Irish Beach Nationals, where they qualified. Nice movement through. Oh, what a find, and a little bit of applause as well for Taras Kujuk as he runs that one down.
What vision. I didn't even know what he was throwing to there, but he did. You can see that. As we crane our necks to see the replay. Yes. Oh, it's lovely vision. All the space on that side. PUG have continued with their backhand force, which brought the entire field over to the side we're commentating from. But the space was open on the other side.
So a very good pull from the Ukrainian D-line. Puts PUG well in their own territory. No opportunities being given for a Callahan, though, and they will open up the can downfield. Oh, what a fantastic effort, but sand stripped. But, oh no, he clung onto it. Well, that didn't look like that to me, but fair game. Removes the hat and the sunglasses, and then goes and get the score. Connor Selkirk, what an effort.
Well, he lost all his accessories, but he held onto the Frisbee.
Which is the most important thing to do if you're playing an active game.
He did stick a hand out to try and catch his glasses, I think. But
maybe that's what I thought he dropped then.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Irish. You've got to love them. They are so tenacious and brave. They'll just take anything and anyone on. There's not a throw they won't try. And they throw a lot of those lefty dishes.
They certainly do.
Very well.
Well, Sally getting a bit of well-deserved rest. That's half taken by PUG, 7-5 over Ukraine's open team. As the players take a little break in the booth, we will hear in the booth as well, but don't go anywhere, folks. The second half will get underway very soon. Well, we've very kindly been gifted a very out-of-bounds pull to allow us to finish off our little sneaky ad break. Both teams keen to get the second half underway as the sun sets here in Portimão on our day one. Oh, that's a beautiful leading pass. Bish, bosh, bash. Great vision again, Javier Cotillo Lopez.
And that's when you don't get the pull in, you can get punished. This time they came out in flick. And then got beaten on the backhand. Once again, the Ukrainians bringing the play over to the force side and then breaking for the goal.
It's a very effective strategy on sand because it's so difficult to make up speed. Of course, it's that dynamic of you don't have any of your energy being pushed back up as you're pushing off the floor. It's largely about driving your knees up more, isn't it, when you're running on sand?
Definitely, and trying to make up ground is just so difficult, which is why oldies like me can still stay in the game as long as you get one step ahead. You're less likely to get overrun.
That is a very, very good pull rundown. Plenty of hesitation from PUG. Connor Church hoping on a prayer and gets it. McNamara looshing it deep. Now that one has a lot more hang time underneath it. It's going to be plenty of contact. I wouldn't be surprised to see a foul call here, and it will be immediately accepted.
Yeah, that was a good old backpack, that one. And not contested at all by the Ukrainian defender.
Yeah, Boyko getting a little bit too hungry to steal some sandwiches out of that backpack. Of course, Ukraine still very much in this game. Just trailing by the one break. Moran looking for an opportunity. Oh, McNamara getting a bit too spicy with his dance moves. And that is just denial from Levitsky.
Yep, the jinky jink.
Yeah, enough of this back and forth. Dishing and dancing. Oh, wow, that was magnetized fingertips for Danilak. PUG really happy to just give this soft gaining reset. And that's just off to the races. They go. A soft throw from Levitsky finds them off perfectly.
Well, just despite us, they just scored it on the open side there and didn't worry about the break throw at the end.
Well, when you've got speed like Payepa, why not?
Yeah. It's, and Irish are back to their backhand fours. And that was just, when Ukraine are on, geez, their offense is smooth, isn't it?
It seems they've taken just a little while to get into the game, you know. But they've done enough throughout the course of the match to stop PUG from really running away with the lead, even though it did look at the early stages like PUG were going to be the better team in this match.
Yeah, I feel like PUG have got that Irish spirit is trying to overcome, the Ukrainians and take them over. But the Ukrainians have got some grit here, and they're backing their offense, and it is looking very sweet.
Well, and they are having a bit more of a spreading of the love so far. There's only a couple of them that have gotten 2 or 3 stats on the board, whereas Mr. Man, Connor Selkirk, doing the work for PUG. He's currently got 5 of the 7 goals to his name.
That's true. Another output, pull Hannah. Another brick.
Interestingly, how most of the out-of-bounds pulls in this game, we've had a couple downwind, but most of them have been the upwind.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because you'd think those would be the ones with the better opportunity to not go out the back from being too much of a boost.
Yep.
McNamara sitting that one on a piece of string. Oh, just where the defender can't take it away. And that is a great grab by Captain Reese Connolly-Duggan.
And the Bombies are back.
Do you think they've been practicing them in their accommodation pool?
Yeah, I think it must be. And they've brought it to the land. But there's a lot more protection of the back end now. I think they're not doing it as extravagantly as we saw in the first point. Well, this game continues now. We're still on hold, on serve. What a struggle this has been. As you say, the Ukrainians just hanging in there. Each time PUG get a lead, they bring it back.
Yeah, it's been interesting though. It has felt a lot like PUG are in charge of this game, but the stats are very, very similar, including even as down to the number of passes completed by both sides. That's a nice bit of momentum stop though, with a flash on the force. Kujuk puts it through. This is really wonderful patience from the Ukrainian Open team. Like the way they stay connected with each other on the handler resets. Schmagluk takes the dump pass. And again, great exploitation of the amount of poaching being done by PUG. Doesn't quite make it over the tape with that one, but now just about a meter or so away from punching another offensive hold into the scorecard. Very relaxed ultimate, and that final break, and just coming out of the dust when the defender is left on his knees thinking, what did I do wrong?
Yes, What a clinic. That was a beautiful point. You could play that back. The short ball by Ukraine, which, you know, they're mixed. The mixed team that I've seen from Ukraine, they love to bomb it. This team is happy to play small ball, and I really think that if you have a good small ball game in beach, you can win a lot. And the Spanish have taken this on, you know. But that was lovely. The only time they got into trouble there was they had the 3 handlers back, and suddenly resets were difficult, you know, and they only... But that was excellent. What a great point.
Well, it's interesting because they was almost like getting in there at each other's space. But that one is going to rocket down and fall out of bounds. So another brick pull.
Not another one.
This is Worlds, gentlemen. Feel free to keep it in bounds. No, I'm kidding. It's not always the easiest thing, especially as I say, a lot of these players are used to playing on grass formats, indoor formats, different pitch sizes, different pitch surfaces. And so being able to make those adjustments on here on day one is a bit tricky. Nearly some friendly fire though as Doody holds on to that one. Bit of high ball action in your glass, and Bunkenberg, I think he got blocked on that one. Fantastic defense. Vasil Pereverziev making the magic happen for his team. Well, this is an opportunity for Ukraine to take a lead for the first time in this game. Oh, a little look over the shoulder just to make sure. Goes to the sand and pops a high release backhand. Ukraine put themselves in front.
And listen to the sideline here. They are absolutely pumped. And why not? It was a funny old throw that came from the PUG player there. It looked like it was a gun that misfired and sort of...
Well, based on the celebration of Vasil Pereverziev, I'm pretty sure there was a hand on that one that never made it all the way through, like an instrument that had been muted.
Yeah, rather than... it didn't look good. It was deed, and Ukrainian did the job. Poor old McNamara there was lost as that throw went over his head. And into the Ukrainian hands. So can someone keep the pull in?
What do you reckon in the live chat, folks? We've got plenty of action, of course. Nice layout for Selkirk. Continuing to deliver the goods. A little bit too much dancing for Connolly Duggan, though, and that one will sail away. Couple of these handler movements just turning into miscues, and a short field exploited. Ukraine 3 on the bounce. Wow.
Yes. Now you see here a lot of jinky jink on the dump rather than just a strike and a fill. And they were getting away with it earlier in the game. Now it's become a lot harder. The Ukrainians are awake to it. And another little offhand for the goal. Oh boy. Now suddenly, after an arm wrestle through the first half, we're seeing Ukraine now looking like they're on top, Hannah.
Well, as the sun sets, it seems to be Ukraine on the rise. Of course, we've had many a wonderful tournament organised by the Beach Ultimate Lovers Association here in Portimão. Massive thank you, as always, to not only our friends at BULA, our Eurodisc VC and other sponsors, but the local municipality, Portimão themselves, have done a fantastic job of putting together this tournament, and lots of handshakes and good spirit actually between these two teams.
Oh, yes, there's no doubt of that. How about that pull? It actually went on to the other field. They had to stop the game to collect it.
Little bit of interruption for your money.
Yeah, the worst yet.
And it's starting to get a little bit chilly though as the sun fades away from a very hot day here in Portugal. McNamara punches it through to Church, and that is a very fast possession indeed. Just about toes the tape and signalled by the opponents.
Oh, that was glorious. From the no-look scuba break, what I love is, okay, we've seen the last couple of points, PUG, their resets, they've had trouble with them. They've had a couple of turns on them. They're fearless, you know. the next one, it's a no-look scuba for a break. You know,
Joe Cole, why not?
Yeah, I love that about the Irish. They'll always take it on. And that was a great offense point as well.
Well, you always got to expect a little bit of vim and vigour from lads from the Emerald Isle, especially this PUG team. As we say, it's more of a collection of friends. But of course, some of them taking the preparation for this tournament a touch more seriously than others on their squad. But Ukraine, of course, training under duress a little. Great to have them alongside, representing their nation. The only team wearing national team kit.
That's true, yeah, good point. And I do like that strip, and so does Kirsty, my wife. She wants to trade one.
Oh, it is a really solid look. So, back in action. Schmagluk. Oh, but that's a great bit of defense. Jack McNamara like a corkscrew.
He is a jack-in-the-box, isn't he?
He can't be put in a box. He explodes out of every single one they've tried. The scientists cannot figure out the formula to stop that young man. Seeking an option, running a little bit out of the clock, and McNamara comes through. Oh, that was a cheeky dish. I think he's calling the foul. But sort of a gun and run type throw makes it a bit tricky.
I want to know what that throw was.
I think it was an offhand backhand, was it not?
An offhand backhand to the break side. And there's a call. What I like, though, is it was a beautiful layer D by McNamara in the first instance. He did end up causing contact, but it wasn't, it was not contested.
I think it was the offensive player also was trying to readjust to a disc that was slightly behind him.
True. Yeah, very
sort
true.
of thrown into action, but it's going to be an accepted foul or contested foul. We didn't really get too much in the way of hand signals, but we will play on with possession in the hands of McNamara, and it's just a little juicy lead pass. Nice and easy does it through to Connolly Duggan for the goal, and the captain keeps the dream alive. We're at 10s.
Incredible.
Still on serve.
We saw Ukraine surge. It looked like a PUG was on the ropes. A layout D for McNamara, the jack-in-the-box, and that was very good spirit. I would say good spirit on the layout D. We just saw your uncontested foul there on his incredible lefty break. So this is a great game. What a great end to the day here.
Well, we do try and deliver for our Ultimate fans. You know, the folks that duly sit and watch all these live streams. Of course, this one coming to you on YouTube, of course, live, free to view. And as always, a vivid comment section. But Ukraine looking to keep their lead intact. We're tied up at 10s, but the Ukrainians up that one break of score. Thinks about it. Pajiski holsters. Nearly some friendly fire there, but sneaking through. Kuzuk hangs on.
Wind picking up here, Hannah.
It is starting to give us chills as well as thrills. Cotillo Lopez pops that one back to Kuzuk. But a foul upfield will give us a moment of repose.
Ukraine is working their horizontal offense so nicely. They're very patient. Even when the reset doesn't work, they're willing to let that have a slash and fill so that handler goes up the line, and they've always got someone for the swing there. Sometimes two.
I got there first. Test. 4, first. Was it before the throw?
So a contested foul.
I think so, yeah. Away
from the disc, but it looks to be on the previous possession. So Javier Cortillo Lopez will have the disc back in his hands. Of course, the programmer from Alicante coming alongside. He's got a dog called Platano, like a banana, but that one, banana's out of bounds.
And it's a missed opportunity.
Oh, I love the option. You know, just put it into space into that corner. He was going into the wind, so he knew it had sit, but just a bit too far. Now Pug with it.
Well, the Ukrainian sideline, their mixed team, who've already derobed from their playing attire, but are here to support their fellow country folks. Nice high release. Seriously thinks about that deep shot, but holsters instead does Cointerrell. Now Doody looking at everyone else behind him. We've got to go play catch up. Moran nearly over the tape, but just shy. A little bit of clustering in front of the disc, doesn't give too much opportunity, and the hand block is taken away. Fantastic work from Stanislav Ajiski.
Dude, he did so well there. He beat the bracket. And we've got a timeout now from Ukraine.
Well, I don't mind that. We've not seen any team take a timeout in this game up until this point. But let's get another look at that hand block.
Oh. Well, I'd love to see that again. That was sensational work.
Well, denial defense, very intense as day one starts to fade away. We'll take a brief break, but we'll be back with you after this. The moon is out here in Portimão, the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2024, and we are enjoying the sunset, literally and metaphorically, on day one. Ukraine having a heckin' comeback, 3 on the bounce, but 2 clear is the response from PUG, the Irish upstarts, trying to take their first win of the championship so far. Lovely start from Static, but
oh, this is interesting, Hannah.
Oh, it's the classic. The defender didn't hear that it was being tapped in.
Yes,
which is not something that you're allowed to overturn just because you didn't hear it.
Yeah, it's one of my pet hates. One of my pet hates. If your teammate has tapped it in, it's live. Okay,
that one
it's gone back.
That one should stand. That's bizarre. Well, hey, it's up to the players on the field to work these things out. Of course, ultimate self-refereed sport. I think we are getting the correct outcome. There we go.
Beautiful.
Possession with Fermin Padial Morales.
Gave him a thumbs up. I think the Irish did. I think they just didn't know actually what was happening. We're still getting.
Well, that's well. Let's talk the rule then. So, when we're checking the disc back in, obviously it's the 2 players next to the disc or close to this, one on offense, one's on defense. They are responsible for communicating with their team and making sure everybody is ready to play. And if the person at the disc, obviously, you are allowed to make mistakes. That is a thing that happens. But
once you tap that dip in, you've accepted that we're ready to go. And unfortunately for your defender, which is why I always say to my teammates, please count it in very loudly. But here we go.
Indeed. And I think I spy Stefan Rapazzo who's just jumped into our booth with pastel de natas, of course, a delicious snack here in Portugal. Well,
let's not be distracted here. This is a great surge here from Ukraine.
It is very tasty indeed. That is a beautiful throw. To take as well on the back of it. That is a scintillating play for the Ukrainians for the hold onto their lead that they ground out in the second half.
What a catch. Let's see this again. It was a gutsy play. Okay. That's fantastic. Very happy Ukrainian sideline. And the struggle continues. 11-10 to Ukraine.
I think tussle. Tussle.
Tussle.
Struggle feels like neither team are finding their form, but I think really what we've had is sort of two teams inspiring each other.
Yes.
It started with PUG being able to boost it, much to the thanks of Jack McNamara, who now sees a bit of Connor Selkirk in the end zone, exactly what he wants to find as we try and hold on here. Of course, the Ukrainians only have to score 2 more points, and that's game.
How did he get open there, Hannah? He was miles open when McNamara threw that flick.
I think maybe just waited till his mark wasn't looking, huh?
Yeah.
Which would be a silly thing to do, considering that's the 6th goal of the game.
Yes.
Just for Connor Selkirk alone.
What I love with Connor Selkirk, he's still wearing those big mirror sunnies, even though the sun has set.
You've got to commit to the bet.
Yeah.
So, Ukraine looking to bring themselves to their first match point opportunity, but getting a hand right in the mixer on the way through. The foul will be called by Sergei Shvetov. Or Shvetsov, sorry.
I think he's seeking a perspective.
Well, as you can see in the back of the shot, the players do have access to our replay screen, so they could perhaps turn around and have a look at it. That is very close in terms of timing, is it not?
Yes, it was very tight, and you could see there was some contact with the Ukrainian player. How much it affect? I'm not sure.
Well, it looks like the trust between these two teams continues. That is an accepted foul, but a juggling match. And Connolly Duggan comes out the victor. Doody, soft backhand instead of launching it deep. Someone on the sideline saying, when Doody's got the disc, someone go. I mean, if you know what the man's got in his bread box, then toolbox even.
Yeah.
But the Ukrainian sideline using their feet to generate some noise to support their players on defense. Doody pinned to the far sideline. Can he manage to find motion? Oh, a little bit too late on the layout attempt. And that's a great break and some tippy toes in the sand to keep it clean. Connor Church bringing in that all-important point.
There was a lot of duty on that and that point though, wasn't there? He is a great playmaker for PUG. And just to hear the call from the sideline, when Doody gets it, go long, someone go long.
It feels like the phrase, there's a lot of duty on that point, sounds like in certain locations could be a not so positive thing to say, but of course Mark Doody has been having a very solid game thus far. One goal and 1 assist, as well as plenty of work, just allowing PUG that solid pair of hands in the backfield.
Yeah, unfortunately the defender there just got sucked in by the up the line cut. He thought he had to close off that up the line, and that gave up the backhand break for the goal.
Overcommitment on the force on sand is going to leave you really on an island.
Oh yes, and we have 12-11 to PUG.
Well, the Irish lads have regained their lead that they ground out in the first half, but that is an out-of-bounds ball, so an ideal situation for Ukraine to try and bring us to Universe Point. So fielding the ball, Yuri Payepa. Looking around, just seeing where his teammates are setting up. And a bit of sagging defense. Oh, but what a hand block that was! Huge! Connor Selkirk coming across to play this power D-line. Now Jack McNamara, huge gainer through. But there is a call.
Travel call. He felt that he sort of ran around for that backhand break. It's a difficult one. It's hard to... It is coming back here.
Yeah, keep that separation from.
Well, you can't really contest a travel call. You can certainly discuss it, but it's
Yeah.
difficult one to do. So McNamara now, cheeky with the overhead, and it's Selkirk on the other side of the disc to finish us off. A nice clean break for PUG to take their first win of the tournament, 13-11 over Ukraine.
What a game. And unfortunately for Ukraine, they have 2 losses by 2 points on the first day. They were brave though as well. They really kept their offense together. It was lovely flow for most of that game. They came up with some sensational blocks themselves. But let's give that to PUG. They were fearless throughout. Even when their resets weren't working, they were still coming out with some of the most funky reset throws you can imagine, Hannah.
Well, certainly. I mean, looking at the numbers of this game, it is relatively similar. I mean, all the 7s for PUG. Clearly, that's been their number today. But not too much to really separate these two teams. And certainly, looking at the other result from this pool, with Himiliswag currently 1 point up over 33 Tours from Bordelais. But yeah, considering the results from this morning, I think PUG have done an excellent job of perhaps playing the format a little bit, thinking, well, actually, playing first seed in the tournament, maybe they did a better job of resting some of their players.
It wouldn't surprise me because they had a lot of energy in this game. They're certainly their best players.
Well, and we know they love to bring it to the live stream as well, of course. And thank you so much for joining us in the chat. So we're going to have an interview from the sidelines with Steph Rapazzo.
I'm here with Jack McNamara after the game. A very exciting game. Jack, as a spectator, must have been even more exciting as a player. Talk about getting into this one. Ukraine pushed you to the brink there. You just got some separation at the end?
Yeah, it was a very tough game. I think as a team we didn't really know what to expect. Ukrainian Beach, I don't think I've seen the Ukrainian Beach team before, so it was very interesting to see, and they were very good. It was fighting the whole way through that game. They made some incredible plays, incredible throws, and yeah, they were just getting free a lot. It was hard to shut down, but I think our offense, with a few good turns and maybe a few lucky turns, but overall I think our offense managed to kind of just hold them out and yeah, convert enough times.
You joked a little bit. I said I brought you over for the interview. You said, "Oh, is it because I had so many turns?" Of course not. That's not why you. But when you distribute as well as you did, you had 6 assists in this game. But talk about what your team was doing to find ways to get open for you to distribute as well as you did.
Yeah, we thankfully have a lot of good cutters. Thankfully for me, a lot of deep cutters, which is what I like to see. And yeah, people were just making great cuts. Yeah, it was our initiation worked very well. We managed to get a lot of luck out of that. A quick cut and then a deep shot. And yeah, they've just found it struggled to stop. And yeah, our team were just very good at that cut.
Great stuff. Thank you very much. Congratulations to PUG and Jack McNamara. Best of luck along the way.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, those two having a wonderful interview, but of course the little bit of intel that you might not know is that those two wrestled at CFC last year. Who do you think won that one?
Oh, it cannot be. It has to be McNamara, does it?
Nope.
No.
Steph got him in a headlock nice and early, but let's have a look at some of the highlights from this matchup, shall we? Because what a game we had to close off our opening day.
Oh, I'm still shocked by that news. He is built like an axe, that fellow. But I'll take your word for it. We were treated here, Hannah, to a wonderful match. Back and forth, great sideline support for the Ukrainians.
We really were. I think in terms of the opening stages of the game, it was about that energy that PUG brought to the sand here in Portimão. Of course, this the second game of the day for both of the teams, so it's easy to kind of come in with that little sense of fatigue, but they certainly ran the rails through the first half after all that trading, and just when it looked a little bit like the Ukrainians, as that defense started to rise and they caused us problems, especially in the near side of the space, that was when PUG really seemed to dig deep and then refine that form, those big bombs from earlier in the game.
Yeah, exactly. I think both teams could have really helped themselves by keeping it cool. So we saw a lot of starts from the big mark, and as we discussed, that you get more of a penalty on beach than you do on grass. But the other thing to mention is great spirit shown by both teams. So I would like to see we'll see what the spirit scores are, but I felt like it was a very fair game.
Yeah, it's very amicable for sure, and both teams had turnovers that were called back on fouls and various bits and pieces, but all extremely well discussed, which we love to see here at the World Ultimate Beach Championships. The first time we've ever been on the sands for these clubs to do it out here for the world stage, the World Championship. Who will be the victor? Will either of these two teams rise to the top of the standings? But it's a lot of games left to play. Join us for all of this event, all the way up until Saturday the 19th. It's been a pleasure to bring you day one. What will come up next? Find out on the other side.
Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.